"Welcome, girls," said Miss Cackle, smiling fondly at her flock of pupils, all lined up in orderly rows in the yard. "I hope you've all had a wonderful summer holiday and are rested and ready for some hard work, especially our new pupils. Don't worry, girls, it won't be long before you're all doing loop-the-loops around the bell tower." Miss Hardbroom raised a disapproving eyebrow at Miss Cackle's light-hearted attempt at friendliness, and the new girls looked more anxious than ever as they were not sure whether to laugh or to look serious. Although Miss Cackle was the headmistress of Miss Cackle's academy, Miss Hardbroom had somehow risen through the ranks of the teachers to be an unofficial second-in-command who seemed more in charge than the headmistress. Because of this, the girls were always caught nervously between Miss Cackle's kindness and Miss Hardbroom's overriding disapproval. Miss Cackle gave up her attempt at joviality and handed the morning over to Miss Hardbroom. "Now then, everyone," she said in a rather crestfallen voice, "I'll leave it to Miss Hardbroom to introduce our new form teacher and to give out any announcements before you go and unpack your belongings. I'll see you all at assembly afterwards." "Thank you, Miss Cackle," said Miss Hardbroom, with a nod in the headmistress's direction as the girls all stood in line, gasping in the heat. "Now then, Form 3, this is your new form mistress, Miss Granite. Put your hat back on, Enid Nightshade. It isn't that hot. Goodness me, you're all so feeble these days, always complaining about something. Either it's too hot or it's too cold. No backbone at all, no gumption." Miss Granite gave a little cough. Yes, girls," continued Miss Hardbroom. "Please greet Miss Granite in a courteous and friendly manner." "Good morning, Miss Granite," chanted the whole class, trying to sound courteous and friendly. As Miss Hardbroom gave out various announcements, Form 3 gazed in amazement at their new form mistress. She was very strange-looking. For a start, she had a huge cloud of bright orange curls, which looked extremely frivolous for Miss Cackle's academy. In fact, everything about Miss Granite looked frivolous to the pupils, condemned as they were to black gym slips, thick wool socks and hobnailed boots. She wore enormous purple-tinted glasses and a short cape with a collar turned up so high that you couldn't see much of her face at all. "She looks as if she's been at your styling brush," whispered Mildred to Maud, who giggled. "Mildred Hubble, if you have something amusing to say, perhaps you could share your little joke with the rest of us," snapped Miss Hardbroom. "I'm sure we could all do with a little merriment on the first day of this long winter term." "Sorry, Miss Hardbroom," mumbled Mildred, blushing scarlet as the rows of assembled girls, plus all the teachers, turned to look at her. "Well, Mildred," said Miss Hardbroom, "we're all waiting." I've forgotten," said Mildred desperately. "It probably wasn't all that funny anyway. I really can't remember." Miss Hardbroom turned to Miss Granite. "This is Mildred Hubble," she announced. "It's a bad sign when she can't remember anything on the very first day of term, before lessons have even started. This, I might add, is typical of Mildred Hubble, and you would do well to keep an eye on her." At this point the girls heard Miss Granite's voice for the first time. It was so astonishingly high-pitched and squeaky that it was hard for them not to react, and even Ethel looked startled. "Oh, I will, Miss Hardbroom," squeaked Miss Granite. "I most certainly will." Mildred glanced at Enid, and the two of them suddenly felt a dreadful surge of hysteria. Maud gave Mildred a severe look as her friend grimaced with the effort of not bursting into giggles. "Stop it, Mill," she whispered. "Don't get off on the wrong foot with this one. It's your chance to make a fresh start."